Today, we're going to do something a little different. We are putting our modern world in the dock. We're stepping inside a courtroom to witness a verdict, not on a person, but on the very cities so many of us call home. This is the trial of Asphaltica, a powerful allegory for a uniquely American way of life.
Seriously, just stop and think about that for a second. If your city, with all its concrete, its cars, its sprawling subdivisions, was actually put on trial, what would the charges even be? And maybe more importantly, what do you think the verdict would be? Guilty or not guilty?
So our story begins in a fictional courtroom that, might feel all too real. Welcome to the High Court of Asphaltica, where an entire way of life is about to face its final judgment.
Okay, picture this. The courtroom is absolutely silent, just buzzing with tension. And as the jury files in, you can see it on their faces. They look so grim, like they're carrying the weight of history itself. The air is heavy, just waiting for a verdict that could literally change everything.
And presiding over this whole thing, the smug, overly confident Judge Gridlock. I mean, his name tells you everything you need to know about the system he represents, right? He leans forward, watching as the jury foreman gets up, clutching this single, fateful piece of paper.
So who exactly is on trial here? The charges are about to be read, but you might be surprised to find out who the defendants actually are. See, this isn't about a single person or a company. It's about the very structure of our world.
Get this. The accused isn't a person. It's not even a group of people. No, the accused is something much, much bigger. It's an idea, a system that was born in the 20th century on the promise of the automobile and the open road. What we're really talking about is the U.S. urban model itself.
And here are the defendants, the lineup: asphalt, freeways, strip malls, and of course, the tangled mess of cul-de-sacs. But these aren't just, inanimate objects. In this courtroom, they're the living, breathing symbols of the entire way of life that's on trial.
And the charges? Wow. The jury foreman reads 4 absolutely devastating counts. First, grand larceny of beauty. Second, environmental vandalism. Third, cultural sabotage. And finally, and this is the one that really hits home for me, the mass theft of our time, dignity, and joy. These are not just legal terms. They're pointing to a really deep and really personal cost.
And now, we get to the moment of truth, the verdict and the sentence. Every single eye in that courtroom is just locked on the foreman. He's holding a decision that's not just a judgment, it's a potential roadmap for redemption. And then it comes. The verdict just lands like a clap of thunder, a single, powerful word that completely shatters the silence in that room: guilty. But what were they actually guilty of? Well, fundamentally, this trial was a philosophical battle over what freedom really means. On one side, you had the false freedom of Asphaltica, a world built for cars that, just offers the illusion of choice. And on the other, the true freedom of cities built for people, cities that foster genuine connection and community.
Now, a guilty verdict is not where this story ends. In fact, it's just the beginning. See, the jury doesn't just condemn, they offer a sentence that's really designed for redemption. It's a 5-step plan: dismantle the freeways, build plazas and gardens, reclaim the streets for people, restore beauty as a right, not a luxury, and finally, bury that false freedom of Asphaltica for good.
So as you can imagine, as this radical sentence is read out, the very foundations of the old orders start to tremble. The reaction inside that courtroom is immediate, it's chaotic, and, well, it's ultimately triumphant.
Judge Gridlock is absolutely furious. He's the embodiment of the old establishment, and he is not having any of this. He leaps to his feet, just shouting, outrage, blasphemy, in this desperate attempt to get control back.
And then you get this incredible, symbolic moment. He slams his gavel down with all his might, and it just splinters. It shatters right there in his hand. The very symbol of his authority just breaks apart, and the crowd, they just erupt. People start tearing up old parking tickets, and this chant starts to build. Everyone in unison: guilty, guilty, guilty. It is a moment of pure, cathartic liberation.
And the scene closes on this one powerful thought. This verdict wasn't just a judgment in some fictional courtroom. It has shaken the entire system, right down to its very core. For the first time ever, the foundations are truly, and I mean truly, trembling.
So yeah, this has been a powerful metaphor. But it leaves us with a very real question to chew on. If your city,
your hometown, was put on trial on these exact same charges, what do you think the verdict would be?